Welcome to Blue Talks.
Hello, everyone. Here's something I hear from entrepreneurs around me all the time. I love working with my clients. If I could just do that all day and not have to do marketing and sales, I would be so much happier. Does that resonate with any of you? I thought so. But here's the hard truth. As entrepreneurs, we have to do marketing. If people don't hear about us, they don't buy from us, and then we don't have a business. So there's just no going around it. But most of us hate it. We feel it's pushy, it's uncomfortable, we feel it's aggressive, but we don't have to hate marketing so much. That's what I'd like to talk to you about today. We can actually bring as much enjoyment from our marketing as we have from our client work. And not only is that possible for us, it's also the only way to have a sustainable business. Because let's face it, when we hate doing something, one of two things happens. Either we stop doing it, and as entrepreneurs, if we stop marketing, eventually we go out of business. Or we keep doing this thing that we hate doing, and we push and we push, and we burn ourselves out. A few years ago, I opened an email, and the next thing I remember, I was crouched on my bathroom floor, sobbing. I was going to have to close up shop, go back to corporate, and I could feel my heart constricting in my chest. I didn't want to abandon my dream. So what was the email? It was from the president of the American Chamber of Commerce in Panama. We were planning the launch of my training program for Latin American business owners. And in his email, he asked if we could move the date by 3 weeks. The launch was 6 months away, so 3 weeks was no big deal. At least it shouldn't have been. But in that moment, it felt like a death sentence. They don't believe in me. They don't think I can deliver. The program will never launch. I may as well give up. Those were all the things that were swirling through my mind and kept me sobbing. The bottom line is, I was burnt out and I didn't know it. Sadly, this happens a lot in the entrepreneurial world. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. And the numbers are consistent worldwide. 50%. That's a huge proportion, and it's unacceptable. There are so many talented entrepreneurs with expertise and wisdom to share, and there are enough problems in the world. There are so many people who need guidance with the various challenges they experience in their life. We need these entrepreneurs. So why was I burnt out? If you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, this scenario may sound familiar. When I first started my business, I was passionate about the change I wanted to make. I wanted to help small business owners to do global commerce, to sell their products across borders, international markets. I had a solution to help them, and I was fired up. Somewhere along the line, though, I realized I'm going to have to do marketing for this. I'm going to have to be the salesperson. And I wasn't too sure how to do those things, so I turned to the experts, and I hired marketing experts, and I diligently did everything that I was being taught. Gradually, I realized I was in misalignment. I was implementing tactics that, frankly, if I had been on the receiving end of them, I might not have appreciated too much. I was feeling ill at ease in the way I was showing up, and I started dreading those conversations where I was supposed to sell. Instead of feeling our passion and our desire to help them, they start to feel this "I don't want to be here" energy, and it pushes them away. And then we start thinking we can't make the sales we want, and we feel I may as well give up. I can't do this. I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. These are all the things that I experienced in my first business. But while all this was happening, there was something else that I was doing that I was really enjoying. Ever since I was a kid, we had traveled the world meeting friends and family. So when the LinkedIn platform was launched, I thought, wow, this was made for me. I was passionate about connecting with people all over the world. And it felt like the platform was just made for me. I connected with everybody I knew. I started sharing articles about global commerce, cross-cultural differences, languages, all topics I loved. And it spurred a lot of conversations, and I loved that. People were joining the conversations, and I made more connections. In fact, I met some of them in real life when I traveled. So I really enjoyed this. What I didn't realize is that this global network actually was an incredible resource. When I left corporate and launched my first business, as soon as I started talking about it on LinkedIn, I got potential partners. I was invited to speak in Latin America and Europe. I gathered a faculty of 150 experts worldwide to help my clients. And I was interviewed for Forbes. So I was doing something right. In fact, this ended up becoming my second business, LinkedIn Coach. So on the one hand, I was implementing these marketing strategies explained by the marketing gurus and burning out and hating it. And on the other hand, I was doing this thing that I loved that was obviously helping my business. So what was going on? I had to figure it out. So I went back and looked at everything I had done over the last 10, 12 years in corporate, in my two businesses. And I looked at what I liked, what I didn't love, what worked, what didn't. And it took me a little while, but I figured out that there were 3 key principles that made all the difference. And when my clients started applying these principles, they started enjoying their marketing as much as their client work. And that was the key. That is what attracts your ideal clients to you like a magnet. So I codified these 3 principles along with the strategies to implement them into your business into a system that I call the magnet model. So let's talk about these 3 principles. The first one is mission. Think of it as turning on the switch in your lighthouse. When you have identified and articulated your mission and you share it broadly, it attracts your ideal clients and you can connect with them emotionally. Let me tell you about my client, Deborah. When Deborah came to me, she was overwhelmed with her marketing. She didn't know how to explain her business in a way that people would understand, let alone want to work with her. Deborah provides training programs for government agencies that help young people with mental health challenges. She provides training to the social workers who go in to the families to meet with the teenagers or the children. She provides training to those social workers, supervisors, the directors, the heads of department, and she has programs for CEOs and the board members. Can you imagine doing marketing for all these different audiences? They have different goals, different problems, and you can't talk to them the same way. So we started working together and we looked at her mission. What was Deborah's mission for doing the work that she does? And then we looked at how we could align that with the mission of all the different people who worked in those organizations. And we came up with a single statement that everybody could rally around. We believe every youth with mental health challenges deserves access to trusted and quality mental health and services and support. This was something that captured the single central reason why everyone in the organization got up in the morning. It was something that they could rally around at all levels of the organizations. We translated this into all her marketing materials, her website bio, her LinkedIn profile, her emails, her presentations. We tied all her communications to all her audiences around this central theme. She called me soon after, and she was so excited because she had been invited to be a speaker at 3 of the top organizations' events in the field. She started getting more clients into her programs and entered collaborations that grew her business. Focusing her marketing around her core mission was a game changer for Deborah. It galvanized her audience. The second principle is message. Often in our communications with our audience, it's like ships crossing in the night. We're saying something here, our audience is there, it's just not connecting. We're not saying things they care enough about. Message is about deeply understanding what our clients, our prospects really need. Often people don't understand the root cause of the challenge they're experiencing. Our job with our marketing is to help them get to the root of what they actually need. And when we do that, we're serving our clients before they even become our clients. I'd like to tell you about Janice, another client. When I first met her, she was getting great feedback on her articles, her posts. She was having conversations with potential clients, but she wasn't closing deals. Janice's clients are CEOs who want their companies to become more innovative. Janice had done a large markets research study with interviewing hundreds of CEOs. And what she had found that nobody else was seeing is that there was a tight correlation between the level of innovation in a corporation and the level of collaboration. What was happening, though, is that the CEOs that came to her were in a hurry to get innovation in the door. So when she talked about her programs that helped improve collaboration, they didn't see the relevance and they weren't signing up. So we created a series of messages that helped with her marketing to take the audience from what they were experiencing, the lack of innovation, all the way through to the root cause of what the problem was, the lack of collaboration. So now they could see themselves in these communications and they were able to change their beliefs around what they actually needed. She started getting 6-figure consulting projects and filled up her pipeline. She told me about a sales call where the CEO got on the call and said, "Janice, I've checked you out on LinkedIn. I've read all your articles. You're exactly who we need to bring in." She had made the sale before even opening her mouth. Why? Because she understood better than anyone else what her client truly needed. And so now they could see the bridge between their problem and her solution. She was helping them before they even became clients. The third principle is creating a movement. When you begin your journey as an entrepreneur, you know you can help a lot of people. So when you start getting clients and you become more financially established, you still know in the back of your mind that there are so many more people out there who could benefit from what you do. When you share your message beyond your immediate circle, when you rally people around your mission and what you stand for, you create a ripple effect for your work. People talk about it, and it spreads. Whether it's 5 people or 50, 500 or 5 million, when you treat your mission like a movement, it creates this ripple effect, and you grow your audience, you create a community, and you have a much bigger impact. For this, to illustrate this, I'd like to share a project that I did a couple of years ago. I had become so annoyed, angry even, at the manipulative tactics taught by the marketing gurus that I wanted to do something about it. I was already speaking about it and writing about it, but that wasn't enough. I wanted to generate a bigger conversation around this. I wanted to inspire my fellow entrepreneurs to stand up to these kinds of practices and to realize and understand that they could do it differently. I wanted to normalize a more ethical way of doing marketing. And I wanted this to spread far and wide. And I knew I couldn't do it alone, so I enlisted some help. I created a project called Marketing Mutiny. And I gathered a group of entrepreneurs who I knew practiced values-based marketing. I asked each of them to create a short video explaining one marketing strategy they were successfully employing and how it was aligned with their values. And then I hosted a public conversation after each video release. This caused so many conversations to happen. What rallied people around was this shared worldview, this one thing that we could all share and move towards. My message reached so many more entrepreneurs than I could have on my own. And some of them became clients. But the bigger point here is that I was able to make a much bigger impact. When you shift from selling a product or a program to selling an idea, your mission, it attracts a crowd that spreads the word for you, and you have created a movement. I believe all of us mission-driven entrepreneurs deserve to have the impact we want to make in the world, to have the income to continue that work, and to have the independence to do our work not only where and when we want, but in a way that is aligned with our values, so we don't burn out, and we can do our work with joy and fulfillment and have a sustainable business. Who here agrees with me? We deserve impact, income, independence. Well, when you shine the spotlight on your mission, you create resonance with your audience. With your message, you help them before they become clients. And you're bringing your passion and your fire to your marketing, and people hear that, they feel it, and they join in, and you have created a movement. Now you can have impact, income, and independence. So I say to you, embrace the boldness of your mission and go be the change maker you want to be. Thank you.